Good. I'm actually we're recording this at the exact same time that the World Baseball Classic final is, which is basically like the World Cup for baseball. And it's USA versus Japan. Yep. It's in the bottom of the first inning right now. I got it on like silent on my phone over here.
Nice. So nobody's scored yet, I imagine.
No, I'll give some updates
as they do.
I don't know if you've noticed my trend the last couple episodes, but I got a different like attire going on, trying to keep it different every time. Going
Switch
USA this time, so
heck yeah.
Ben gave me this hat and USA soccer jersey, so
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been going with the exact same aesthetic every single episode because I dress in the same clothes every day.
It's a nice parallel, you know?
Yeah. I like to provide continuity.
Like yin and yang.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is that Japanese? Oh no, we're playing Japan. I think that's Chinese, isn't it?
I don't know. I would think Chinese. I think Chinese, yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely what most people would agree are like the two best teams in the world for baseball. So
yeah, Japan's super good at baseball, right? Don't they love baseball?
Yeah, and they have a really successful professional league there. A lot of really good players there could come to the U.S. and be one of the best players, but they choose to stay in Japan because, you know, they make enough money there and they like it. Yeah, it's a good league.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Why does Japan love baseball so much? Any idea?
I don't know. They've been playing it forever. Like the kids play it at a really young age, and from my understanding, like baseball academies over there, I think they've won the Little League World Series more than anybody.
Oh wow!
Japan.
When did baseball start? Is that like 20s, 30s?
1800s.
1800s? History of baseball. Yep, 18th century. So in the 1700s.
Yeah, it's a pretty old sport.
Referenced in 1744.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people, and I probably would agree, would say football is probably America's pastime, not baseball at this point.
I would agree, yeah. At this point, definitely. But also, football is relatively new. That was invented in like the 30s, right?
Yes. Yeah, early 1900s. But, yeah.
Yep.
We'll see what happens.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you have to keep us updated.
Sorry. Little sun in my eyes. I'm in the room where the sun at this time of day comes in the window, so I was a little distracted there trying to block it.
Get your face uncovered or whatever. Recovered, I guess.
That's much better.
So, dude, I'm on my awful, crazy schedule right now. It is absolutely brutal. For the listeners, I'm doing a training for work in Euro time. So my work week this week starts at 1 a.m. and ends at like 10 a.m. So I've been having a hell of a time dealing with that. It's been tough.
But then you get to sleep the rest of the day.
Well, if I sleep. So like all of Monday, I really didn't sleep. I napped all day. I like laid in bed all day, but I couldn't actually fall asleep much.
It's tough adjusting to that schedule.
Yeah. Today I was able to sleep from... It's based out of Krakow, Poland, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But today I was able to sleep from about 10 to 2. So I'm hoping I should be on schedule now.
And then it'll be over and you'll have to go back.
Dude, it's going to suck so bad. I'm really like...
Just quit, dude.
Yeah, I should. Dude, I knew it was going to be rough, but I didn't think it was going to be this rough. Yeah, today I was like really struggling in the class. I was definitely nodding off frequently because it is like
pumping some coffee.
Yeah, I'll have to this tonight because it is just very dry, boring security stuff. But yeah.
Is it like just lecturing or is it engaging at all?
No, it's just lecturing.
Oh, bummer.
It is straight lecturing. And like, it's not even really interesting lecturing, I would say. It's not like, we're not like talking about hacking stuff. We're talking about like how in Windows you configure users and how you add privileges to users, and what does this ruling in 1989 represent?
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Wake
Just
up,
like
listeners. Wake up. It's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
But that's what he's suffering through.
I have to bring you in on this a little bit. Yeah. But it's been brutal. I will admit. How's your week been? What have you been up to? Anything fun?
Nope. Just school stuff. Nothing worth talking about on a podcast.
No? How's school been going?
Fine.
I'm curious to hear more about GIS as you learn more about it. It would be cool for you to do a segment on it sometime, maybe. Show us how to build a map.
Yeah, perhaps. Let's see. I got another curb clip we could do.
Nice.
Another one of those, if you want.
Yeah, those are fun.
All right, so we're gonna do the segment. Do you agree with Larry David?
Okay. Is this for you?
That's my father.
Father. Blood thinner. You know, there's another drug out on the market that I personally like a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. My patients, they're a lot happier when they have the drug.
Huh.
So for audio listeners, and just to break this up, Larry David is in a Walgreens type store back at the pharmacy getting a prescription filled. And the pharmacist is telling him he would recommend something else.
If you like, I could write it down for you.
But the doctor prefers this one.
Yes. I prefer the other one.
But he likes this one.
But I like that.
Doctor? Pharmacist.
I will say it is like, I don't think this one is like as easy to go either way.
Doctor. Pharmacist. I'll go with the pharmacist. I'm going with the pharmacist. I'm taking this to the doctor. I'm getting a new prescription, and I'll be back, Mr. Pharmacist.
I'm glad.
I'm going with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Larry went to the pharmacist to get his prescription filled, and the pharmacist said, there's actually something I think would work better. What do you think? What are you going with your doctor there or the pharmacist? I think there's compelling arguments for both.
First off, I would say that seems to me wildly unprofessional of the pharmacist to go against the doctor.
That's a good point.
That, like, I don't even think that would ever happen. I would imagine that, honestly, the pharmacist could get fired pretty quickly for that shit, would be my guess.
That's a valid point. I think I could see, what if it's like, but at the same time, like, if they're having, like, people are having, like, negative reactions to something and something else is working better. I don't think, I actually not positive that would be illegal. I think it is partially in the pharmacist's, like,
you're just not under
discretion as a
care.
medical. They have the same medical training.
You're not under their care, though. You're not a client of theirs,
right?
You're
you're not writing the prescription. You're just giving your
advice,
medical advice. It doesn't mean that they. I don't necessarily think
maybe
it's as bad as that. Yeah.
I will say I think it's wildly unprofessional. That being said, what I would do is I would get both. I would just get both. I'd say, can you write down your recommendation? I'm going to get the doctor's thing for now so I can start treatment, and then I'll go talk to the doctor and see about your recommendation as well. But I think if you have to choose between pharmacist and doctor, I'm probably going with doctor. Because the doctor has sat with me and talked with me and knows my specific use case better. Like, there might be a reason he prescribed that particular one to me or to my dad or whatever, versus the pharmacist who's just, literally just seen me, literally hasn't even seen my dad, so can't even like make a guess at assessing him. You know what I mean?
I definitely lean doctor because of pretty much what you said. Like your doctor, especially if it's somebody you've been going to,
right?
Like for a while, like they know your medical history, they know what might work best with you. I will say the pharmacists are giving these things out, a lot and to a lot more people. So they are getting that, like, time, sort of like a benefit of like seeing people that a lot of people that might be taking something versus like the doctor is like, oh, you're my one patient. I'm going to prescribe this one thing to that. Maybe you're the first patient I've prescribed it to. Like,
let me play a little counterpoint there. I guess the pharmacist is going to have clients, but I was going to say it's not like I go back to my pharmacy and say, "Oh my God, those meds were great." I do go back to my doctor and say, like, "Hey, those meds are really helping," or like, "Hey, these don't help at all." Or
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, I get a lot of meds. You're going to go back though, like because you're going to have to, unless it's like a short term thing. If a lot of like mental health stuff or like.
I guess my point is
illnesses,
I know I'm going to go back, but I've never sat and chatted with my pharmacist about my medications.
Yeah,
I do with my doctor regularly. That's what I'm saying. The pharmacy is more of I understand that a pharmacist is trained.
Yeah,
but like
I think this is what I would have done there. And obviously it makes total sense that they would not have done this in a comedy TV show. I would have been like, "Huh, that's interesting. Like, why would you recommend that versus this one?" And try to get like a specific answer from the guy.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, okay, if it was like, if it made sense to me, then I might be like, okay, I might hold off and call the doctor. And if he doesn't, I'll get this tomorrow. So
I'd go do more research.
Ask the doctor. Yeah. Cause like, honestly, I could see a situation where, a doctor, I don't think a doctor's going to know about every medicine that's out there and all the different things like as much as a pharmacist is because they're the ones giving it out. So maybe there are situations where you go back to your doctor with the information and they're like, I hadn't actually heard about this drug. I'll look into that. And then they look into it and they're like, I actually do agree. The pharmacist is correct there. Like,
yeah.
So
I would say that, yeah. Like,
I guess I would say I would definitely probably go with the doctor. But I wouldn't totally blow off what the pharmacist said.
Yeah,
probably. I like I said, I would ask for specifics, and if it was like a good enough answer, I would take that back to my doctor and talk about it with them.
The other thing I'm going to add too is, it would bother me so much to go to the pharmacy and return without the thing I went there for. Even if I like had a new chore that was added on, that would be acceptable. But if I went there and got only a new chore and none of the stuff I was going for, I'd be like, fuck that. Yeah.
It's true, but I guess depending on the medication and stuff, your health is more important than adding a chore to your day. Like,
oh yeah, I'm not gonna fight. I'm just saying, like, I will get the med just to feel like I've done something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that.
Personally.
Yeah, but that, and then we didn't show that part, but Larry actually, then you have to actually still go back to your doctor. Especially and he straight up is like, I'm going with the pharmacist. I want what he told. Like, he does not, it's not a discussion when he goes to his doctor. So,
of course.
In that way, I do not agree with Larry. But I would say that I do agree with Larry in the sense of the pharmacist is, educated and might have a point, and it's worth thinking about it. It's not worth
absolutely
going, oh no, my doctor prescribed this, I'm going with that. Like, I see where he's coming from. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I would definitely it would be a touchstone to jump off of, but personally, I wouldn't go with the pharmacist. Doctor, pharmacist, I'm going with the doctor.
Yeah. Probably if I had to pick one, I'm going with the doctor.
The other thing is, the doctor just they're trained more to know your body and you as a patient, versus the pharmacist is trained to know the chemistry of the drugs,
Yeah.
Also, I have a pharmacist friend. We should totally have Dina and my pharmacist friend have a debate. Doctor versus pharmacist.
Hey, let us know in the comments what you think. Maybe I would love if somebody is like hardcore, like no, you should totally listen
Go
to
with the pharmacist.
Like,
Here's
let us know
why.
why you think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
or
that would be
vice
sick.
versa. If you agree with Scout, so sort of me. I'm going doctor. I think.
I think we're both on the same page. Honestly, I'm surprised Larry went with the pharmacist. I would suggest it's actually a little bit of bad writing. It's not in character for Larry.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's obviously so that they can create the scene where he has to go back to the doctor.
Bad writing.
Yeah.
It's just like it's story driven, not character driven.
Well, I would say yes to that argument, mainly because if you noticed, it wasn't even a prescription for him; it was for his dad.
For his dad, yeah.
So it's like not even talking about yourself there. Yeah,
right.
That's like a whole nother step of like I'm making a decision for your health. Like,
that's the other thing. So actually, that also changes it. I hadn't even really thought about it's for his dad. If it's for the dad, I am 100% doing
blood thinner medication for his dad.
I am doing what the doctor says. Yeah. Well, because it's his dad. His dad saw Larry go with the understanding he is going to get this medicine that the doctor gave me. And so if I were to betray somebody's trust like that, I would feel like a dick. I would feel non-consensual, you know. They sent me out with the expectation that I'm getting this medication that the doctor prescribed, and then I'm going to come back with either something different or nothing and tell them, hey, I decided to change it up on you. If somebody did that to me, I would be steamed. But you get what I'm saying, though? It's like,
yeah,
when it's somebody else's shit, that's a whole different thing, I would say.
Wow. Okay, so I actually was like, I wonder what the comments of the actual video say. And a lot of people actually are agreeing that the pharmacist like probably knows what he's talking about.
Really? Interesting.
Yep. Let's see. This is an interesting choice. And Larry made the correct decision. Well-educated pharmacists know a lot more than doctors do about prescriptions. And I will never forget when I went to London after becoming sick in another country. A chemist is what they call pharmacists there. Correctly diagnosed her and gave them a prescription at the same time. They were feeling better that evening and were cured by the next day. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not compelling enough.
Yeah. Anecdotes don't do it for me personally.
I do think that was a point that I was kind of like wondering about is a well-educated pharmacist actually does probably know a lot more about prescriptions and stuff than a doctor.
I would agree.
Does.
Well, because doctors, I mean, when they're studying in their free time, they're reading up like case studies of patients and diseases. Pharmacists are reading case studies of medicine. And
there's another dark side to this too that's kind of like, you know, a lot of medical companies are like, they go to doctors' offices and they're like, hey, you should prescribe this drug, and like the doctors have incentive to prescribe a specific drug to a patient
I actually
over other things. Yeah,
I actually specifically thought of that though. Wouldn't a pharmacist also be susceptible to that? I see advertising in the pharmacy. There's no way
I would not think so because, well, see, my understanding about the way it works for the doctors is they get a kickback every time they prescribe it. I don't think I would hire, because the pharmacists aren't writing prescriptions, so I don't see how they're going to get any kind of like a kickback for a drug. Maybe they do, maybe they will, but it just doesn't. I don't know what it is.
It's hard to research this. Do pharmacists get drug kickbacks like doctors?
Yeah, I would imagine this is secret information, kind of.
Do pharmacists...
By the way, USA is up 1-0 over Japan right now. Woo! In the World Baseball Classic.
Hell yeah. Go USA. I think you might be right. I'm obviously not going to find any good answer in this quick of a time, but it seems like more likely doctors are at higher risk.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually don't know. I would assume pharmacists can write prescriptions, but I don't know.
Oh,
Because
that's
they
a
see
really good
people. I think they see people for like minor, like not intensive visits, but they also do consultations and stuff like that.
You can get the pharmacist clinician certification and then provide primary and specialty care, which allows them to prescribe
So it's
medication.
basically, that sounds like it's a pharmacist who works also as a doctor at the pharmacy. That's kind of what that sounds like.
And it sounds like they're like a primary care kind of physician.
That's who you should listen to, Larry.
Yeah, a pharmacist
guy.
clinician.
The guy who's both.
I wonder what the least amount of work I have to do to write prescriptions is. Like knowing now that, because I always thought like, oh, you have to be a doctor to write a prescription. But now that I know I could be a pharmacist clinician, it's like there's got to be nurses out there who can write prescriptions, right? Can EMTs write prescriptions?
I don't think so.
Could a Wolfer write a
I
prescription?
actually don't think so. I think it's a pretty high bar to get to write a prescription for someone. I think it's like you got to be a doctor. I don't think.
What's
you
the
have to have
lowest bar?
My understanding, so Dina was telling me she had to wait till she got her like DEA, like ID number or whatever, and like
What's that?
stuff. It's like what gives her, like, it's what she sent when she writes a prescription for somebody. She puts her like, license number on it so that they can verify, yeah, this was from an actual doctor.
From a doctor. It's what gives her her doctor knowledge powers.
her powers to write on pieces of paper for magic pills and whatnot, It's 1-1 now. Japan just scored.
Dang. Turnover.
Baseball. One swing of the bat.
One swing of the bat.
Everything changes.
So is this our very special 50th episode?
The 50th episode is the one I just put out.
That just came out?
This would be 51
when
it comes out next week.
Hell yeah. Go us. I was sharing with Walker last week, we should, instead of celebrating big milestones like 50, 100, and stuff like that, we should just totally pick random episodes. Episode 117, Extravaganza. Episode 43, well, we can't do that one now, but
we could if we invented a time machine, which could be episode 52 next week.
That's true. I mean...
Well, before we go off on this, to settle the Larry David bit.
Do
you agree with Larry David?
No. Disagree.
No. I'm going to have to say no. If I had to say yes or no, I'm going to have to also say no.
Yeah.
I do not. So I think that's did we both agree last time too? No, we did not actually.
Yeah, we did
anonymous, yeah.
I went a little hard line on it. I could have
which
softer agreed, but that's the point.
I think one or the other of us doing that makes it a lot more interesting to talk about for sure. So.
Agreed. Oh.
All right. Well, what were we talking about then before I dragged us back to finish the Larry David segment?
I don't know.
But I was just celebrating episodes at weird episodes. So numbers like number 69.
Nice.
I think that's exactly how we open that episode as we go. Episode 69. Nice.
Very original.
The internet will be pleased.
We could really celebrate episode 68 and episode 70 and then do nothing for 69.
We should see if we can come up with animal 69 facts for
the animal 69.
No way.
I don't think there's
no
animals
way
at 69, dude.
I doubt it. Well, I guess you'll have to, if anyone wants to know, they're going to have to find out in about 3 months when we do that episode.
I know one animal that does. I was down in Moab this past weekend doing some mountain biking, dude.
Did you do that mountain trail?
No.
You were telling us about?
No, I was talking with some friends, and they were saying it might not even be possible this year. I guess there's sections.
All the rain?
Well, snow.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's still snowy sections up at Burrow Pass, I think was the pass that it like starts near or at or whatever. But yeah, I would love to do that. But no, we just rode some desert stuff. It was fun though, dude. I forgot how fun mountain biking is when you're not totally fucking scared.
It is fun if you're not doing crazy downhill stuff, and if there's not like an absurd amount of uphill, or if there's like
If there's a little of both,
like a little uphill, a little downhill. Like,
yeah,
it's not like fucking a lot of uphill and one downhill, which is like not as fun, I don't think.
A lot of my friends are like big mountain bike nerds. Like, you know how I am with climbing? A lot of my friends are that way with bikes. So it's nice to go down with them because they do all the shit that makes it super easy and nice. So we like shuttled. So we knocked out like probably 2 miles of uphill and like maybe 1,000 feet of having to ride uphill, which was awesome. But dude, that's great. Within probably 2 minutes, I got a flat tire and had to stop everybody and fix it because I had no idea how to help myself.
Yeah. I actually need to. My bike has a flat tire right now. Is it hard to change? I've never done
it. So it depends on what kind of tire do you have. Do you know if you probably have an inner tube, huh?
I think so, yeah.
If you have an inner tube, it's really not
easier?
that hard.
Yeah. You just got to get the right size one or whatever.
Yes, yeah, you got to get the right size. And then do you have the little tool? They're like 2 little flat bar things. They're super cheap.
I know what it is. I don't have one.
Yeah, you like use them to shim the tire off and then put the thing in. Yeah. But yeah, we should go mountain biking soon. Maybe up in St. George. That'd be a good place to meet and bike.
Probably. My bike's not a good... I don't have like a good mountain bike. My bike's like a hybrid, so I could do like...
some stuff.
Light. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to do anything too crazy. But
okay.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun. Maybe do a bike packing trip or something sometime.
That would be cool. I was talking to... Roger and Dylan, and mention it to other people too. Anybody who listens to this and wants to come, but we're talking about doing like a fall camping trip.
Any ideas where?
Nah, that's what I was thinking about, is like where to maybe. I was thinking maybe like, I've heard Death Valley's really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere there's probably, I was looking, there's some cool hikes in Grand Staircase that could be cool. Canyonlands would be cool. Those were kind of the 3 initial ones that I looked at. Yeah,
I would love to do Canyonlands. All 3 of those sound really great. But Canyonlands seems really cool.
Yeah, it seems like in Death Valley, especially in fall, we'd be able to get the aspens. They have like several mountains there that have aspen forests. Oh yeah, so that's what I still haven't been, but I hear Death Valley is like, it's unreal how like. It looks like you're in so many different places as you go throughout the whole thing. Like,
isn't it Ziggy who like hiked from below sea level to 13,000 or something like that?
Yep, in Death Valley. Yep,
that's wild.
He said it was one of his favorite parks. Cool. I actually invited Ziggy to be on tonight, but I guess he's not. I don't know if he might pop in. I don't know.
That's funny, dude. He texted me today about getting an AK style shotgun. Did he text you that?
That's a thing?
Oh, dude, let me pull it up.
He didn't text me about that.
Oh, it looks sick as fuck, dude.
I mean, it makes sense. You and him you're probably one of his friends that actually like owns and knows about guns some. So
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm following down the gun nerd trail.
Much about it, like. Interesting. So it like.
It's a 12
gauge. Is it more shotgun or more AK?
I mean,
does it work? Like,
definitely more shotgun. It's just in the style of an AK. It is a shotgun. What it is a 12 gauge shotgun. It just looks a lot like an AK, and it's the big cool thing about it is it would be, I imagine, semi-auto. Yeah, semi-auto, which means that every time you pull the trigger, it bangs rather than like bang, where you have to like do something to cycle the rounds. It would definitely be a fun thing to bring out to the desert and blow shit up with.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, it was fun shooting guns. Yeah, I think they can be really fun, like when used responsibly, for sure.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely. requires.
I think
a
we
lot
both
of
would
education.
agree that we could have a little bit better laws in this country around them, but
I personally do. Yes.
neither of us would say we want to take guns away, like straight up
No.
take them out. Yeah.
No.
But
would
background
actually-
checks and like, come on, how is that controversial?
It would be pretty fun. I have a friend who I worked with at Aspira for a while, who, he's like a super pro gun guy. It would be fun to have him on. Maybe next time you're up in Salt Lake, we
Sense
can
of
get
like
together and have a
anything
debate.
at all is an infringement of that right. Like
I think that's kind of where he comes down. I would want to let him speak more. But yeah, it would be cool to have a debate on the podcast.
Even the most right-wing justices on the Supreme Court have said that the Second Amendment is not an absolute right. Like there are limits to it.
Oh, dude, we should definitely have a.
I mean, like you can't have
a good old throwdown.
Like
yeah,
technically, if it was uninfringed, you would be able to have a nuke and buy one, but you cannot because
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think it's a interesting topic to talk about for sure.
Didn't you
Very
say you shot a target from like pretty far away not too long ago?
I got a clay pigeon, which is like one of those little orange things, like that.
Mm-hmm.
We guessed it about.
Where they're like pull, and then
yep. Yeah. Have you ever done that? Did we do that when we shot?
We threw a couple by hand when I shot with you, but we didn't. Yeah, we don't have like a tosser. They probably make hand tossers, right?
They do. I have a little hand tosser, but they also. It's pretty cheap. So next time you're up in Salt Lake, we should go shooting and hit the trap range. It's like $5 or something, and you get like
it's
a shitload of clay.
So
yeah.
No.
But I hit one of those at like 350 yards on my first shot, which was cool because I had.
Yeah, that's longer than a football field.
Yeah,
that's
it was
impressive.
cool because I had also I know that the rifle sighting is a little off, and so I was able to figure out how far off it was, and then account for that in my aiming and get it the first time. So I was like,
cool.
Hell yeah, I have decent aim.
You're useful in the apocalypse.
Yep. When it comes to the apocalypse, I'll be popping zombies like nothing.
Which apparently word on the street is Donald Trump might get indicted this week. So
yeah, it was supposed to happen today, wasn't it?
He claimed.
I guess he was saying
the only person who said that was him.
Oh,
so
Donald Trump arrested?
No way. Is it?
It says on Slate magazine, but that doesn't sound right.
That's not totally unreliable. Oh yeah, no, it's real.
Slate's pretty bad. He's arrested. He got arrested, huh?
Oh wait, 2 hours. Yeah, I'm the only one I'm seeing is the same one as you, Slate.
Yeah, I have not seen anything else that suggests.
Yeah, I think they're just using a clickbait title there.
Yeah, I think so. Fuck Slate, dude. Fuck Slate. I hate them.
Don't read that bullshit. Yeah,
it's garbage, dude.
Mm.
Slate, Salon, garbage.
It's kind of funny though that the what's going to end up getting him is the freaking paying off a porn star.
That is wild.
To not tell people you had sex with her.
Which how? What is it? What crime is that?
Okay, so this is my very, very, very basic understanding of what's happening. He during the election, I guess. I don't know if she said she was going to say something about it, but they were like, "We'll pay you to not say anything," basically. And I think the crime that they are going to maybe getting him with is that he used campaign money. They might be able to prove that he used campaign funds
to do that,
to pay her off or something like that. It definitely is something involving misuse of campaign
funds. Okay.
Because
I was going to say, just paying off a porn star, that's legal, right? That's totally legal.
I don't see why.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I've done it dozens of times.
I don't know, though, because prostitution's illegal. So you're basically admitting...
No, but he's paying.
Sex,
he's not paying her for sex. He's paying her to say that they didn't have sex. That's a different thing.
Is it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't see how that would be total.
There's not an arrangement. I get where you're coming from, but
there's got to be something
prostitution. You have to say You have to say for prostitution, like, I'm going to give you money for sex. Not, hey, we had sex, now I'm going to give you money later. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting. So you're claiming that as long as you wait a certain amount of time post-sex act for money to be exchanged, then there's no longer a prostitution crime.
I'm saying if there's an agreement to pay for sex, which in this case it sounds like there was not. He ended up paying her later because of the sex they had, but it wasn't hey, in 2 years you're going to pay me from campaign funds or whatever. That's not.
That's true, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I also wonder if it's worse, like, legally, because I don't know the laws.
I think it's totally legal, dude, to pay off. It's just a settlement. It's an NDA. Yeah. You're just paying somebody. It's like an NDA or a settlement.
What was illegal was using campaign money for it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's illegal for sure. No question.
Which I think we can both agree, if true, is not not cool.
Not the way to use campaign funds.
Damn it! Japan's up 2-1 now.
Fuck Japan. No, actually, good for Japan. It'd be cool if they won.
Yeah.
So wait, is this
after what we did in World War II? Also, the game just started.
Is this this is the final final game for the world or whatever? Is this just
this is like the championship of the World Baseball Classic. It's called the World Baseball Classic.
And do they just play one game?
Yes. This is the winner. Yeah, they Japan just beat Mexico yesterday in the semifinal, and the U.S. beat Cuba.
Actually, let me ask you. How do you feel about one-game eliminations in tournaments? Are you pro that or against it? You got to pick a side. I think it makes it more. It makes it more exciting, and it 100% creates a better environment for underdogs to win. So it's more entertaining.
Yes, because it all, everything lies in that one. It's just a lot more excitement and tension and everything around one game, and either team could.
I'm already building my counter argument for you, but go ahead with what you're going to say next.
But I would say, if you want to know who the actual best team is, no, that's not the best way to do it at all. It's much better to do like they do in the NBA playoffs or even the Major League Baseball playoffs, where they play like a best of 7 series. Like you have to win 4 games to advance. And it's a lot harder when you're the underdog to win 4 games than it is to just win 1.
Right.
So I think having it, and that's how it is every round in like the basketball and baseball playoffs. So I think it makes it a lot better. It makes it a lot more likely that the best teams are going to be the ones that actually meet.
Hold on, my dogs are going crazy.
You're good. Yeah, I'll just keep talking about baseball. Let's see. It's bottom of the second, 2 outs. Japan has a guy on second and third. They might score more here. We'll see. The U.S. just changed their pitcher because he was not doing good. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard as the worst team to win 4 out of 7 games over a team that's like definitely better than you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Our dogs sit and stare. They sit on the futon and stare out the window, and then whenever a dog passes by, they go absolutely bonkers. Sounds like the end of the world.
Sounds like a dog.
But would you say...
What are your thoughts on
I was going to
say a playoff or something?
I say I agree with you. I mean, to me, it comes down whether or not you want to be entertained casually or entertained deeply. Because, I imagine that I would enjoy single elimination more because I could go watch a whole tournament in a weekend and have pretty much the same excitement and, joy. But I think you as a deeper, more serious fan are going to enjoy and be more entertained by
Dude, okay.
Multiple
counter argument to the excitement part. The 7, having a best of 7 can be extremely exciting. Because you can get to this point where both teams have won 3 games.
3-3. Yeah.
And then it's okay, whoever wins this. And you've already watched them play 6 games against each other. It can be, and also if you just want to watch more of the sport, it extends. The NBA playoffs is literally they call it its own season because it's 2 months long almost. the whole playoffs. Like, that's how long it takes.
I guess I'd kind of say, yeah, for me as a casual fan, single elimination is nicer. Because I can go watch a whole tournament in a weekend. I don't have to watch 7 games. I don't have to watch for 2 seasons or for like 2 months to get what's going on. Which is, again, for me as a very casual, and I will say, like, I am a dog water sports guy. You know what I mean? I don't follow it.
Yeah, and, I mean, you would love March Madness that's going on right now. Like, it's all you win, you go on, you lose, you're out. Nice. Actually, last podcast I was mentioning March Madness, and I mentioned that that there was a 16 seed that had beat a 1 seed for the first time ever a couple years ago. It fucking happened again this year. A 16 seed beat a 1 seed. It was only the second time that's ever happened in the entire history of the tournament.
Yeah, who beat who?
Fairleigh Dixon beat Purdue. Purdue had like the best player in the country on their team. That's wild. So it was a huge upset. That's what's cool about that tournament is like a team like that can win and keep going. They lost their next game, but it's still insane that they won that game.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. But again, I think it comes down to casual versus deeply interested.
Speaking of sports, I just found out today they're bringing back Slamball. Have you ever heard of Slamball?
No idea what Slamball is. What is Slamball?
It's a type of basketball where they put trampolines in front of both nets, and the guys like jump on them and try to So they're bringing that back, dude. And it said they're doing like a whatever long season, but it said the playoffs and the final is going to be in Vegas. So I would love to try to go to that.
When will that be? Any idea?
It said the season's going to start in like July, so probably this fall sometime. But
okay,
Slamball's cool.
I would definitely go watch some Slamball with you for sure.
Actually, I mean, that's like something that's worth showing a highlight for because it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would love to see some Slamball. It'd be interesting to do a podcast on like not fake games, but weird sports, weird games.
Ooh.
No pity on the little guy. In the 6th week of the season, Corey Beeshold gets way up over George Burns.
Oh!
Like, how exciting is that?
That's insane, dude.
I wonder what the average number of ACL tears in a Slamball season is. Watch a couple more highlights.
Game, Mob versus the Slashers. Noah Ballou scored.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, that is sick.
The guy got rejected, then fell down and made it from his back. Yeah.
Dude, that is such a cool shot.
The Hombres, John Thomas with the self-pass and slam from the top tramp against the Bouncers. Thomas.
Oh, damn.
Oh, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, that is sick. Oh, my
God. It's an exciting sport right here.
That's a very cool sport.
With Whitney White of the Rumble. Fletcher to the rim on take.
Ooh. 360 in the air.
That slam ball at its bangs in the air, does shakes and throws it down.
Wow.
I wonder how often the guy actually blocks it.
On the Sandy Fletcher with this spin move. Beats 1, beats 2, beats 3.
Oh, nice pass.
Oh, shit.
That's right. Chris Young gives new meaning to slam ball.
Ooh.
Dude.
It's like hockey with the hits, dude.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh!
I think my understanding from watching highlights, it seems like when the guy is running to make a jump on the trampoline, you're allowed you can body check them as hard as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure what it seems like.
What? The Slashers link to a 1-point lead over the Mob with 5 seconds left to play, and Adam Hooker takes center stage. Ballou lobs it for Campbell. Campbell lobs it for Garrett.
Oh!
Rejected. What a save. What a block.
Dang.
Dan Shakes Fletcher shows why he's the most creative player in the game. Off the window.
Ooh.
Here's a windmill throwdown.
Got him.
Spectacular play by Shakes Fletcher. And finally, with time running out, Jelani Janice and the Rumble take a 1-point lead over the Maulers.
I wonder how long the games are.
I don't know. This is the buzzer.
Oh!
For the win.
What a spectacular finish! And those are Slamball's top plays from the year.
Fuck yeah. Slamball, baby. It's coming
Dude,
back.
I'm down
Coming
with
back
watching
this summer.
Slamball.
I can't wait.
We'll have to get on that Slamball train, dude.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to do. We'll do a weekly update on how the league's
Slamball.
progressing. Top highlights from the week.
Top highlights.
Best
from
slams.
Slamball.
Epic slams.
Epic slams. Oh, dude, I need to order some fucking Hot Wheels loop-de-loops here soon.
Oh yeah, you want to do that?
I think I'm into that. Which,
Seems
by the way,
doable.
I'd be down to do another alphabet off next weekend or next week on the pod if you wanted to. I'll beat
Yeah.
you again.
Sure.
I'll crush you again, dude.
Dude, I found a really interesting piece of trash this week
Yeah, what'd you find?
up on the top of the hill, Exploration Peak near my house. So I was up there with Henry, and I found a piece of paper on the ground,
Nice.
like printer paper. And there's
Okay.
only one. It was totally nothing on it. I wrote some stuff on it since then, but just blank paper. The only thing that's on it, I'm not going to show it just for sake of doxing the guy. It's just a guy's name and an email address. That's all that's on it, in like 12 size font, and then the rest of the paper has nothing on it. Yeah,
It's like printed on it.
it's printed
not
on. Like
written?
the guy printed out this paper, and it literally just says his name and
Interesting.
the email.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
email him?
I don't know. That's what I was
Make
like.
a
I thought it
fake
was
email.
interesting. I was like, huh, I'm going to bring this to the podcast because it's an
Yeah.
interesting piece of litter because it's like I have
What's
the
it
person's
doing up
name on
there?
it.
Yeah.
But I looked up the email address and they work. I think they work for the public library system in Las Vegas
Really?
because it brought up the public library
That's cool.
system. So I think that's who they work for.
That's fascinating. You should
But
stalk this guy.
yeah, something to consider. We could respond. Who do you think you are, or whatever, to this guy? I don't know, or do nothing. I don't know.
You should just shoot him a message saying like, "Hey, I found
What's up with that?"
I found your email on this paper in the desert. Why?
Or better idea. Don't immediately confront him about this. Tell him that we're interested in doing some type of interview for some reason. I don't know what. We'll come up with something. But
I mean, we could just do an interview with him.
and that we need to meet in person. And then when we meet in person, the whole interview is us just putting him
Just
on
about
blast.
this piece of paper.
Yeah, for littering this piece of paper with his name on it.
Dude, that would be funny. Just like a 40-minute interview. So you say, I just want to get the facts straight. You said you were on that hill on March 15th, right? And we found the paper March 14th. Can you help me understand?
T's aren't crossing and I's aren't dotting here.
So I noticed you said 12-point Times New Roman. You are aware that this is an Arial font, right? This is 11-point Arial font. Here's a couple comparisons. You just pull out like 6 other printer sheets with his shit printed on it.
Yeah, so maybe we can solve the mystery of that at some point.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I totally
Let us-
think you should make a fake email.
Let us
and,
know in the comments if you have any ideas as to what we should. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I brought it up next week. I want you to throughout the week, if you think of any good ideas for it, then next week we'll do something.
Heck
We'll
yeah.
do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it
Or,
live.
we'll do it. We'll type up an email live together next week. So,
Sweet. Yeah, I'm
listeners,
here for it.
Scout, anybody you want to ask, brainstorm this week. Come up with something good.
Dig deep.
All right, let's see. What are we at? 50 minutes. Did you have anything else in particular that you wanted to bring up?
To be honest, I feel bad, but yeah, I'm
you're fine. I have one other thing
right now.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. No, I appreciate you being able to be here this week with your crazy schedule.
Yeah, I went climbing earlier today, and it was brutal. It was rough.
Well, I got a wilderness tale. It's pretty interesting.
Sweet.
Could go into.
Yes, what you got?
All right. In the wilderness, people are faced with two options: facing death or surviving to tell the tale. These are their stories.
Wow, I love that intro, dude.
So good. So good. It's always
so good.
But anyways, most of you have heard of the Bermuda Triangle, right? Have you heard of that, Scout?
Oh,
you
yeah.
have?
Yep.
But have you ever heard of the Bennington Triangle?
No, I have not.
Well, the Bennington Triangle
Tell me more.
Is in Vermont. Okay? It's in southwestern Vermont. It's a 93 square kilometer area of woods. And between 1945 and 1950, there were a string of unsolved disappearances in what is now known as the Bennington Triangle.
Whoa.
It shook communities.
Sorry, where at?
In southwestern Vermont.
Interesting. Okay.
So, let's see. Bennington has had bad luck since the 1800s. Its local economy, mainly mining and logging, collapsed. Tourism failed, and a huge flood devastated the community at the close of the 19th century. This bad luck followed them into the 20th century. So then we can get into the disappearances. From 1945 to 1950, 6 people disappeared, one after the other. The first was Carl Herrick in November 1943. This incident is often overlooked in discussion about the Bennington disappearances because a body was found and a definitive cause of death was given. Carl was hunting with his cousin Henry, 16 kilometers northeast of Glastonbury Mountain, which lies at the center of the Bennington Triangle. The pair got separated, and Henry contacted authorities to look for him. After a few days, searchers found Herrick's body. His gun was nearby with no bullets discharged. The autopsy determined that the cause of death was squeezing. His ribs had punctured his lung, and the townfolk did not show any particular concern afterwards. 2 years later, an experienced hiker and hunter named Mitty Rivers went missing on November 12, 1945. The 74-year-old was guiding a group of 4 hunters on a mountain trek. He was very familiar with the trail, as he had walked it multiple times. However, after going ahead of the group at a spot called Hell Hollow Brook, which is near the Long Trail, which is a pretty famous trail in Vermont, he was gone. Firemen, local volunteers, and eventually the U.S. Army searched for Rivers for over a month. The only clue they found was one rifle cartridge, and no body has ever been found in this case. A year later, in 1946, an 18-year-old student at Bennington College named Paula Jean Weldon told her roommates that she was going to the Long Trail for a hike. A local man named Louis Snap gave her a ride and dropped her off a few kilometers from the trail. On arriving, she spoke with some hikers before she ventured off on her own. She was last seen on December 1st wearing a red coat. A 4-week search led by her father and the police began. However, all leads became dead ends. With no hope in sight, Paula's father believed that she might have had a secret boyfriend whom she ran away with who killed her. Paula's father left Bennington, never returned, and her case is unsolved. The strangest of them all, the tale gets stranger. Exactly 3 years after Paula's disappearance, a 68-year-old World War II veteran named James Tedford disappeared on a moving bus. He was visiting friends out of town and was headed back to Bennington by bus. 14 passengers confirmed that he did not get off the bus before Bennington, and he was sleeping throughout the trip. His belongings were still on his seat. To this day, there's no explanation for his disappearance unless all of the witnesses thought wrong or were lying. On October 12th, 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson was with his mother while she worked on the family farm. She left her son in her pickup while she fed the farm's pigs for an hour. When she returned, he was gone. He was last seen wearing a red coat. An immediate search of the farm and the surrounding area was conducted. Police bloodhound followed the scent to a crossroads where it eventually faded. The trail was in the general direction of Glastonbury Mountain, which Jepson was obsessively talking about for several days before his disappearance. Police theorized that a passing motorist could have whisked Paul away as he tried to reach the mountain. However, the case went cold, and there were no more developments. More than 2 weeks after Paul Jepson's vanishing, 53-year-old Frida Langer, an avid hiker, met a similar fate. She and her cousin, Herbert Elsner, were hiking 17 kilometers from Glastonbury Mountain at the Somerset Reservoir. After getting wet from falling into a creek, she went back to the campsite to change. Herbert stayed behind to wait for her on the trail. When Frida did not return, Herbert reported her missing, and for the next 2 weeks, 400 people scoured the area extensively. 6 months later, her body was found 5 kilometers from the campsite. Coroners could not determine the cause of death because of the corpse's accelerated decomposition.
Man.
So those are all of the disappearances. Now we get into the theories as to what's happening. The folklore around the Bennington Triangle stems from UFOs, curses, Bigfoot, and more. The Abenaki, I hope I'm saying that right, the Abenaki tribe believed that Glastonbury Mountain was cursed, as it housed their dead at its base. However, there are several connections we can draw from these incidents. 2 victims, Paula and Paul, were both wearing the color red. All 5 victims disappeared in mid-afternoon around 3 or 4 p.m. and not far from each other and during the last 3 months of the year. The first thought that comes to mind is the work of a serial killer. However, the variety in sex and age does not fit the usual modus operandi of a serial killer. There is no set pattern. It seems more to do with geographical location. I would argue that is a set pattern. The rough terrain and unpredictable weather are the most plausible explanations. The wind patterns and temperature in this region are very erratic, particularly in winter. Because of the wind, plants have grown in odd angles. Lost in the woods? What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, when they were talking about the most obvious explanation from them all disappearing in 3 months in the afternoon, and I was like, well, is that they got lost with night coming on. And then they're like, a serial killer. I was like, oh, okay.
I would agree. That is a little interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is possible that the wacky winds and dense forest disoriented these hikers. In 2008, Robert Singley, who got lost in a heavy fog and spent the night in the woods, huddled around a small fire he made. He luckily made it back to his car in the morning. Others might have succumbed to hunger, thirst, and hypothermia. But why aren't there any bodies or clues? The second most popular theory is that the hikers fell down unmarked mine shafts and wells.
That was my other guess.
That's actually interesting. Yeah.
I think that's the best guess.
Yeah,
here, actually, go ahead.
Considering how remote the area is, if the hikers fell down one of these shafts, no one might have ever found them. A third, less plausible theory is an animal attack. The area has cougars and black bears, but eastern cougars are pretty rare, and 60 years ago they were even rarer. More rare? I don't know if they wrote that right. They may have vanished entirely from New England for some decades around that time. That aside, cougar attacks are unusual, and while black bears have killed people on rare occasions, there's never been a serial black bear killer, unlike the occasional tiger in India or crocodile in Africa.
Man-eaters.
On September 17th, 2019, the remains of a modern victim, New York resident Jessica Hildenbrandt, were found near the Somerset Reservoir. Police determined that her death was a homicide. No leads have turned up about her killer. She was nicknamed Red by her family and friends. In August 2021, Joseph Schoenig was found in his truck at the Somerset Reservoir with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He'd been missing for several weeks. His truck was red. Wow, they're really digging into that red there.
Big fans of the red there, eh?
Despite the variety of circumstances, the color red still remains consistent.
Wait, which guy was this?
In 2021, some guy self-inflicted gunshot wound.
And they're curious what happened, because I have a theory.
But
Did you happen to see what I posted in the chat? It's like
right now.
it's this one nifty thing I found before, which I was curious. So I'm glad I posted a Snopes article, because it turns out it is partially true. It's partially true, partially not. But it's a map of missing. So the top map shows mysterious cases of people. Here, let me share my screen.
I'm sharing it.
You got it. Okay. The top map shows mysterious cases of people vanishing without a trace, and the bottom maps show America's largest cave systems. And if you look at the maps, they're remarkably similar. And
They really are. Yeah.
I would bet if you also added mining, you'd see a lot
There's
more
cave
mix
aliens.
on the left. So what Snopes says is that those mysterious vanishings are like a specific type of vanishing that happens in national parks, I guess, called 411 cases. So it does make sense that there would be correlation. But yeah, a lot of I don't know. To me, a lot of these missing cases, the answer is pretty obvious. Like the person went and died in the woods somewhere.
Dude, check out the Midwest. It looked like, I don't know if the caves are literally like the state boundary lines. That's interesting. Like
Probably
pretty
rivers.
closely.
That's
They're
probably
pretty
where rivers
closely.
are, right?
That is a lot of rivers probably.
And I mean,
There
is
is
that
a-
the
yeah.
Mississippi that you're talking about? No, it's
The
not.
Ohio and the Mississippi would go through the Midwest. Yeah.
And that's because, I mean, it's rivers that cause caves, right? They dissolve limestone. Is that right? Is that real?
Any water dissolves limestone, but yeah,
Okay,
I think a lot
there
of
you
it, often the biggest caves, it's because of like a river or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting though. Have you read through this at any point?
This little article.
Is there any
thing?
like interesting point? Like obviously that chart itself is really interesting, but
I
is there
glanced
any
at-
like
like I
actual
said,
points besides that they made that?
no, and the biggest thing was debunking this, because they say like it's presented as if these are all vanishing cases, and that's not the case. This is let me see. As noted above, the people map is not an exhaustive list of all missing persons in the U.S. The National Missing and Unidentified Person reports that nearly 600,000 people go missing every year. Many of these cases are resolved with the persons being found alive and well, but tens of thousands will remain missing for more than a year. The vast majority of these cases are not on this map. The above displayed people map shows what Paulides calls 411 cases, or cases that Paulides has deemed as having strange circumstances. This could be a case involving dogs that failed to pick up a scent, people who were found with missing clothing items, or cases involving people who traveled unusual distances after they were last seen. So it's like, this is particularly those weird vanished cases.
I mean, it's almost certain that some of the disappearances is exactly this, which is interesting.
Yes.
I never really had thought about that before. Like,
And
somebody just falling in a cave and like
it's pretty
they're missing,
common,
but nobody knows. Yeah,
that was one of the things that I was like kind of really grilled on when I moved out west, was like, do not fuck around with caves or in mine shaft areas, and
especially alone.
Yeah, and if you see a wooden panel in the middle of the desert, don't fuck with it. It's probably a mine cover. Yeah, and that was the wisdom, was like, because you'll just disappear. Like, they don't find you, you don't turn up later on, you're gone, and like that's it.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Horrible way to go.
Yep. Second only to getting caught in a tight cave and squeezed to death.
Nutty putty.
Yeah,
one of the worst deaths ever.
We should do a cool podcast where one of us goes and dies in a cave or mine or something.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
We can podcast it as it's
I guess that would be the last episode.
Yeah. Well, for that guest.
Intern? Let's get some interns.
Yeah, let's get some interns. Exactly.
If you want to be an intern, let us know.
We've got
Contact us.
We've got exciting assignments.
Many
for you.
open positions and exciting assignments. We don't pay or give college credit.
We do not pay or give college credit.
But we can guarantee that you might have the experience of a lifetime.
Some would say the experience of your lifetime. The ultimate experience of your lifetime. I just shared another link in the chat. I think we should wrap it up now, but next week, it's not really it's more of a mystery story than a wilderness story, but it's a cool one.
Yeah, you should do a wilderness tale on it sometime. I mean, like we said, the definition of wilderness is pretty open, so...
Yeah. I'll pick something out. Actually, maybe I'll share this. Maybe we could. Maybe next week I'll do just a recounting of my travels in Europe one year. That was pretty fun, and I could talk forever about that shit.
Yeah, do a solo episode sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check out the episode I just uploaded today from last week, though. It's I did your black hole segment with like
sick. Yeah,
pictures and stuff. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good. Yeah,
nice.
But I think we're gonna wrap it up this week.
I think so.
On episode 51, Japan's up 2-1 with going into the bottom of the fourth inning. So I'm gonna go watch the rest of this game.
Nice.
Go USA! Let's hope we can come back and win.
USA.
I'll give an update next week on who won for anybody who doesn't actually pay attention to this. Sweet. Peace out, y'all.